Greetings folks, I'm Tanooki, and it's that time again of monsters, fear, horror, and yuff. That is definitely odd. What game are we getting at today? That makes sense. Yes folks, today's game is Pandora's Tower. Some people in the imaginary audience may ask, what the heck is Pandora's Tower? Well, first we have to get to Operation Rainfall. Some people will probably ask again, what is Operation Rainfall? Well, my dear viewers, Operation Rainfall was a campaign that was started in 2011 to get free JRPGs for the Nintendo Wii to be released in North America. These titles were Xenoblade Chronicles, The Last Story, and Pandora's Tower, which were all released in Europe around a year later after their initial Japanese release. But strangely enough, Nintendo of America refused to bring these titles to the US, which seems odd to me as this was the time where the Wii was a barren wasteland filled with only Skyward Sword and Just Dance, even many Nintendo fans waiting for the Wii U. Plus, the English translation was basically finished thanks to Nintendo of Europe. So I didn't understand what the issue was. But thanks to Operation Rainfall, the American fans got their wish in the end, as Nintendo of America released Xenoblade Chronicles in 2012. Last Story and Pandora's Tower was published by XC Games in North America. XC Games are known for publishing many niche Japanese titles to the West, just as the Legend of Hero series and the Segwin hardware games. Many Nintendo and RPG fans have heard of Xenoblade Chronicles, as it became one of Nintendo's most popular series in recent years, and some people may have heard of Last Story as it was created by Hironobu Sakaguchi, the creator of Final Fantasy. But not many people have heard of Pandora's Tower. Pandora's Tower was developed by Ganbarian, known for making many One Piece titles. In fact, most of their titles are basically One Piece, or at least based on a Shonen Jump property. It was released in Europe in 2012 and North America in 2013. With that young introduction, let's find out what Pandora's Tower is all about. The story starts off with a cheery festival with the focus being towards a young woman named Elena singing in front of a crowd. Unfortunately, during the performance, a curse was put upon Elena, transforming her into a beast that terrorized the festival. She manages to transform back, but the army attempt to chase her and her lover Aaron down. They manage to escape with the assistance of an old woman named Magda and her odd undead husband. They arrive near the 13 towers, which are said to hold the void at the bottom known as the Star from growing and destroying the world. Within the 13 towers lie the 13 masters, giant monsters that lie on top of each tower, and it's up to Aaron to defeat the masters and recover Nephias before Elena transforms into a beast herself. What makes this interesting is that Elena is a vegetarian, as her religion forbids eating meat, so seeing her struggling between her religion and her survival creates an uncomfortable vibe for both Elena and the player. Well, for me at least. Every time Elena eats a master's flesh, she has recurring dreams of a family and a war that is going on. While Pandora's Tower has a lot of lore and world building, it is treated more as a side dish, which is either explained in books that are picked up throughout the game, or it's explained briefly in Elena's dreams and conversations. The real meat of the game are the characters, especially Elena and her relationship with Aaron. Elena is possibly one of the most adorable and sweetest characters ever. Despite being cursed, she mostly acts with kindness and worries more on Aaron's well-being rather than her own, However, it takes two to tango, and, well, Eren isn't much of a talker. Despite not being a silent protagonist, he doesn't normally talk, and when he does, it's hard to hear him. While he's not much of a sociable man, his facial expressions and actions slightly make up for his character. Their relationship is that a princess and a knight in silent armor, seen in many fairy tale books, but unlike them, they seem to be more fleshed out. No pun intended. One thing I like is that every time Eren comes back from a tower, a cutscene may trigger with them just interacting together, like eating a meal together, or Eren just listening to Elena singing. It's the little touches that makes the story and characters special. The cast is incredibly small, but the voice acting is pretty good. For the most part, I did some little research on who did the voices, but my only results were that they were all English, which makes sense as the voice casting was handled by the same people who worked on the other Operation Rainfall titles, but other than that, pretty nothing. The voice actress for Elena gave a remarkable performance, giving the character a caring and innocent tone. It was hard to hear Eren though. He sounds like he's a small man in a box.
Am I dreaming? I'll leave you alone forever now. Thanks.
While the music fits the tone for the game, the music is honestly quite bland, and in some cases like with the enemy encounters, the music is very repetitive. It is the same battle music throughout, and for a 20-hour action RPG, can be annoying to listen to. The Wii isn't much of a powerhouse, but the game does push the console to its absolute limit. Some of the cinematic cutscenes get stunning, and the facial expressions on the characters are pretty great too. The towers start off pretty diverse, with a forest tower, a tower with a giant whirlpool in the middle, and a giant molten factory, but unfortunately I did notice that around the second half of the game, the developers reused a lot of the themes, using identical to the previous towers. The main objective is to enter the 13 towers and defeat each master and get their flesh before the time limit runs out. Otherwise, Elena transforms into a beast, resulting in a game over. Thankfully, the player can stall Elena's transformation by collecting flesh from smaller monsters lurking around. Plus, the timer is a bit generous, and the towers themselves are pretty easy to navigate out of. There are also items you can get which can warp you out if you really need it. I had quite a handful of those items by the end of the game. To get to the masters, Eren must locate a set number of chains and destroy them, which are hidden throughout the towers. Eren is armed with a magical chain that is basically used for the majority of puzzles and combat. The game can be played with the Wii Classic controller, but I wouldn't recommend it. It controls like garbage. The game is made with the Wiimote and nunchuck in mind, and honestly, it's the best way to play the game. The Wiimote is used as a cursor for Eren's chain to latch onto objects and foes, leading to some creative use for puzzles. However, the same cannot be said about the combat. Eren starts out with a two-handed sword, but later on, he gets a twin blade and a scythe, which vary in many different fighting styles and can be upgraded by gathering a number of materials. However, most enemies are a lot easier to knock out with the chain. There are multiple ways to use the chains on the enemies, like tangling them together or swing them around like Mickey Mouse. But it's easier and quicker to just fully charge the chain and yank him, especially since a lot of enemies take a while to kill with the other methods. While the chain does speed up the killing process, enemies still take way too long to kill and just feels like a slog to get through. Fortunately, most of the bosses are pretty great, and with most of them treated more like a puzzle. Controlling Eren can be an issue, especially when it comes to using the chain as a grappling hook, swinging from one bar to another. It's not much of an issue when Aaron is jumping forward, but when you need to swing diagonally, and in some cases you need to, then it becomes a problem. I remember later on in the game, I basically kept missing a swing multiple times due to the awkward control, which led me running up all the way back up to where I was in the first place. Besides going through the towers, there is also the observatory, where you can enter stats for everyone's weapons, as well as buying, selling, and crafting items and weapons using materials you find throughout the game. The observatory is also where you can interact with Elena, as well as give her gifts and beast meat. These moments are a nice change of pace from the combat and allows the player to breathe. Pandora's Tower puts the Wii to its limit, not just in terms of graphical power, but also its creative use for the Wii remote with top-notch puzzles and boss fights. Despite how quiet Aaron was, I loved the relationship between the couple. It was indeed the strongest element of Pandora's Tower and was the thing that kept me playing through the game, especially since the basic combat and the music was dull and repetitive. If you don't really care for the characters, then this game is a hard sell. It wouldn't be my top choice to purchase for the Wii and wouldn't be my top choice out of the Operation Rainfall titles, but if you want an action RPG game with a nice love story, I suggest giving Pandora's Tower a shot. I hope you have a nice Halloween, and if you're watching this at another time of the year, then I wish you have a wonderful day.